Hi everybody, Robert Grevious here with Pine Pollen Superfoods and Precision Training. Today we're going to go over how important it is to warm up. There's all different types of ways to warm up, like static warm up or dynamic warm up, but there's theories on that and you can go all over the place with that. But the main thing I think all trainers and everybody needs to know and agrees upon is that warming up is very, very important. Warming up the muscles so they contract and stretch better is huge in any kind of performance or sports that you're doing. So today I have a real simple example. We have rubber bands here. Okay, so imagine that this rubber band, my first rubber band, is your unwarmed up, your cold muscle. Okay, I put a little slit in here to make sure that this rips. But so as we get going, if this muscle, this rubber band isn't warm, okay, as we stretch it and we stretch it more and we stretch it more, eventually this little rip, and that starts. That's the first start, and then eventually you break, right? And that's a torn bicep, that's a torn anything. Right? And that's bad. You don't want that to tear. That's because this rubber band was cold. Okay? It doesn't stretch as well, it doesn't contract as well, it doesn't have as much strength at all. Then you get a warm-up rubber band, right? So we do a bunch of this small movements, right? And eventually we can come out here and there's nothing happening. This rubber band is going to end up being the same as it was before you warmed up, right? You're not going to tear anything. You could still tear something. That's wrong to say. But you're going to have a greater chance of not injuring yourself with a warm muscle as opposed to if you just go right into starting squatting when you haven't warmed up, got any heat in your muscles, then this is what's going to happen. You're going to stretch a little bit. Eventually that sucker's going to snap. If you don't warm up when you're working out and you haven't had a muscle snap, then congratulations. Now, into different types of warm-up. A static warm-up is where you're going to hold your muscles a lot longer. So a static warm-up is something like where you do here, you do your hamstring stretch, and you just hold this for about a minute or so. I know you can't see, but you hold that for about a minute or so. That's a static warm-up. With the static warm-up, you're holding the position a lot longer. Usually you'll see a static warm-up more in a yoga class as opposed to a track or a weightlifting routine. Dynamic warm-ups are what you see track athletes do before they're getting ready to run their race. You don't necessarily want to have a static warm-up because that's lengthening that muscle, and the longer you hold it, that's the longer the muscle is. So if we're looking to contract and explode from our muscles quickly, okay, a longer muscle doesn't generate or contract, doesn't generate as much power. Okay, so you don't actually want to extend that muscle or have a static warm-up for that muscle. You want to just do nice ballistic type movements or dynamic type movements to bring heat and to just wake that muscle up, not exactly lengthen it like you would in a static warm-up. So a dynamic warm-up is where you see the track athletes doing a bunch of this, a bunch of jumping high knees, okay? A bunch of quick movements that will activate that muscle. So that's where you see the difference between a dynamic and a static warm-up, okay? All are good, just different depending on who your coach is, how your body is, but just take away from this that warming up is key to injury prevention. So that's your tip for the month. Join us on Pine Pollen Superfoods. I'm Robert. We'll see you next time.